Well, I was in a motorcycle gang, the Devil's Disciples, which is a sister club to the Hells Angels. And we all back then had nicknames. So I was raised Assembly of God, and I knew, saved, filled with the Holy Ghost. I knew God very much. And then about 17 or 18 years old, I don't want to say I backslid and I was lukewarm, because I don't know about God spitting me out of his mouth, but I did not live for God. So in the motorcycle club, I was always like, some of the food we ate was terrible. So I would always, let's say the blessing. Or when a couple of the brothers would curse God, I would we rode in 2s and 3s and 9s, and I would back my Harley off and go, make the sign of the cross and go, whoa, man. And so when my president named me, we had a guy named the Preacher, who was not a preacher. We had a guy named John the Baptist, who rode his three-wheeler in water all the time. And so I was the one, even though I was very young, I started the fights, and I was a pretty big mouth. I guess I still am. And so I was made sergeant of arms at a very, very young age. That means I started the fights. I wasn't the toughest, but I started the fights. And so he brought me in. He said, "You're very loyal." I showed up for everything, man's best friend, da, da, da. And so I always showed up. I always went to all the club meetings. I always went to, I would guess they call them today, picnics. I always went to the robberies. Sorry. So he said, "You know what? I'm going to nickname you Dog." And I said, well, I thought it was, the reason, because I was loyal, I showed up. And I said, his name was Houdat. And I said, well, thank you, Prez. And he said, "You know why?" And I said, "Yeah, because I show up." I said, "No, you always talk about God." And he said, God's name spelled backwards is Dog. And I hereby christen you Dog. And so that was a very young age. A lot of people ask me, "What do you want to be called?" In school, in grade school, I was, my real name is Duane. And I would be teased, "Duane the bathtub, I'm drowning." And I would get in a lot of fights, because I don't like to be called names. Still to this day, I don't. And so I prefer Dog over anything there is. My friends can call me Duane, and my mama used to call me Duane, but I'd rather be called Dog. But that's where I got the nickname, D-O-G.